Do you remember Spark Notes? Did you experience the Scholastic Book Fair? And have you played a warlock in D&D? Well, then it's time to unlock your true affinity for spell books. It is time I entrust to you, codename Cody. A deck normally built so boring, so singular, that it made it to the top of the competitive meta down to literally unplayable in a month. This card came out about the early to mid pandemic, so many of you may have never played it or heard of it. But Cody got a reputation out right of the gate. Like a star athlete that gets a spinal injury immediately into their first season. But he's back. Introducing Cody, Vociferous Codex. Cody says, you can't cast permanent spells. But for 4 generic, you can tap him and create one of every color pip. When you cast your next spell, exile cards off the top of your library until you exile an instant or sorcery card less mana value than the one you cast. You then exile that card. You may play it without paying its mana cost until the end of turn. This has massive implications. First off, that means any card that normally uses Suspend immediately gets cast. This also gives you access to every color pip of mana. Look, we're cooking with a lot here and there's a lot you can do. Sadly, most people that ran this deck originally made it a one-trick pony that instantly got stopped because no one let it sit on the board. No one likes a clown with one joke. All this to say, I'm about to commit a war crime and there's nothing anyone can do to stop me.
Really, DefCat? I've been playing since COVID started and everyone already knows what Cody does. What are you laughing at? I don't understand the joke. I'm becoming uncomfortable.
Oh, my sweet summer child. Apparently you haven't been to this channel. Welcome to DefCat MTG, a channel where I teach you how to master these decks. We ain't those channels that just show you cards on screen and here's the deck list. No, you're gonna be able to play this as well as if you built it. And how do we do this? I'm gonna teach you what opening hands to keep, what you should be doing by turn 3 to 4, the intricacies and combos, and how to win. Today we'll be going over a fun bracket 3 version of Cody as well as an ultimate powered evil cedh version. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. And if you want me to build you a custom deck and do a custom video for you, head on over to the Patreon. Last month, I made 78 custom decks for patrons. I only got 2 returns and I gave them 2 free decks. That's how we work around here. God bless. So before I teach it to you, let me give you the sauce. Bracket 3 Cody is about pulling out a secret from your book of spells. Every time you activate Cody using its ability, you will have multiple different, I would like to call cascade targets. This allows you to consistently do specific combos that you deem right for the situation, as well as with a little fun and luck, doing some real evil stuff by at least turn 3. Again, Geneva's suggestion. Let's just keep that in your mouths, all right? So I'll spoil you a little something. You're gonna be able to get any card out of your deck that you want and cast any card from your hand that's at least 8 mana. That's right, 8 on turn 3 or 4 at the latest. That's right, I guarantee you, if you have an 8 mana card in your hand, you're gonna be able to cast it on turn 3 to 4 every game, or do something even more evil. Now that I have your attention, opening hands. To ensure you could do this by at least turn 4, your hand should include 2 to 3 lands, at least 1 2-mana rock or Soul Ring and Mana Vault, and at least one CMC spell. So those are only 5 cards you need to look out for. 2 to 3 lands, a Mana Rock, and a 1 CMC spell. That'll guarantee that you can play 2 lands on turn 2 into a Mana Rock, cast Cody on turn 3, activate Cody on turn 4, cast your 1 mana spell, and here's what we're doing on turn 3 to 4. That 1 CMC spell can only cascade you into a single spell in the deck, Profane Tutor. You get to instantly cast Demonic Tutor effectively for free. Now, check your hand. If you have any of the 8 CMC cards, which by the way, you can totally change out and have fun to which one you want, you Profane Tutor for Culling the Weak. You then Culling the Weak Cody, sacrificing him as an additional cost, making 4 extra black. You then use the 4 colors left over from the Cody activation and the 4 black you've created. It is demon time. Not only that, a ton of the 1 CMC spells in this deck untap Cody, so if you don't want to get Culling the Weak, you can go get other things to set up massive advantages by tutoring them, and then simply untap Cody and do more shenanigans the next turn. There's lots of stuff to cascade into in this deck. So how do you win? I have 3 different ways I like to win in this deck that are very fun. Number 1, continue to tap and untap Cody, gaining a massive advantage until I'm flooding the board with things like Razaketh and Villas. Or heck, cast both Nicol Bolas. It's turn 3 or 4. You're gonna run away with the game once you have those out. Oh, by the way, my favorite way, number 3, simply tap Cody and then see if people have PTSD in their eyes and see if they just instantly scoop. It happened once. I'm just saying, it's real. Now, obviously, people will catch on to this game plan and they will attempt to kill Cody. That is why this deck does have plenty of ways to keep Cody alive that aren't counter spells, because that's boring. And we also would hate to just exile into a counter spell. Again, boring. So a lot of our spells untap and give Cody either hexproof or indestructible. But there's lots of other things this deck does. We're gonna be lowering the activation cost of Cody to continue to use them and spam other awesome abilities, all the while securing a way to make sure we can always remove Cody to play our big spells that are really fun. But without further ado, I would like to make sure you can master this deck, so we're gonna go 1 card at a time and go in depth with how to play it. Now again, if you like what I built here, head on over to the Patreon and get yourself a custom deck made by me and shown off on stream. Also, after we go over the bracket 3 list, I'm gonna be showing you the full horror of what this can do in competitive Commander. You're gonna wanna stick around for that. All right, let's get started. Planeswalkers, Nicol Bolas, Planeswalker, James, Bomb. The idea is you play this so early game, no one can swing at it, and you get to use the ultimate. My favorite thing to do is on a casual night of EDH, ultimate, target my best friend, make him discard 7 cards, deal 7 damage to his face, and make him sack 7 permanents and then go get a beer. Again, these 8 mana cards are for you to have fun with and replace. This was what was fun in my head. Of course I made this deck sober, what are you talking about? Nicol Bolas the Deceiver. Nicol Bolas the Deceiver also ultimates within 2 rounds, and it constantly creates an advantage for you by making your opponents either discard or sacrificing a non-land permanent. The ultimate draws you 7 cards and deals 7 damage to each opponent. Creatures, Biomancer's Familiar. This is gonna make Cody's activation cost 2 less, effectively turning Cody into an amazing mana source. But obviously you need to play Biomancer's Familiar before you play Cody, as once Cody is out, you cannot cast permanent spells. Speaking of which, Elvish Spirit Guide. You can exile it to make a green mana. This is an excellent mana source, especially in bracket 3 where we can't be running things like Mox Diamond and Chrome Mox. Hoarding Broodlord. Now, you could easily put in a combo with this card, so I'm gonna tell you about it, because it's evil. When Hoarding Broodlord enters the battlefield, exile 1 card from your library upside down under the card. I don't know why I said upside down. It's under the card, you get the point. You can convoke the card, meaning you can tap your creatures in order to pay for the spell's mana cost. If you wanted to, although not in the deck currently, you could put Saw in Half under him. Cast Saw in Half, targeting the Hoarding Broodlord, make 2 copies, and go find Sacrifice and Peer into the Abyss, and draw half your deck. Now, if you can't win after drawing half your deck, yeah, it's a skill issue, I'm sorry, just Corvold, Gleeful Glutton. Have you ever cast this guy in turn 3? If you haven't, it's very fun. He's got Flying, Trample, and Haste, and whenever you do combat damage to a player, put X +1/+1 counters onto him, and then draw X amount of cards, where X is the number of permanent types amongst cards in your graveyard, which at this point should be 2. It should be a land and Cody. Myojin of Grim Betrayal. Because we are casting Myojin from our hand, it will enter with an indestructible counter on it. And then you can remove that indestructible counter off the Myojin to return all creature cards in all graveyards to your battlefield that were put there this turn. So if someone board wipes, easy peasy. Prince of Thralls. Whenever a permanent is put into an opponent's graveyard, you get to put it onto your battlefield under your control unless they pay 3 life. 3 life every fetch land? Love to hear it. Razaketh, the Foul-Blooded. Flying, Trample, 8/8. Pay 2 life, sacrifice another creature, and tutor any card to hand. Just nasty. What I highly suggest is if you want Razaketh to be one of your combos in the deck, put the card Life from Death in your hand, and in your deck so you can put it in your hand. Life and Death says that you can turn all of your lands into 1/1 creatures. That means you can pay 2 life from Razaketh, sacrifice your lands, start tutoring things like crazy. Sauron, Lord of the Rings. Dang, a 9/9. Trample. And you amass Orcs 5? Mill 5 cards, and then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield? I don't know. Sounds pretty fun. That's why I put it in the deck. Shard of the Nightbringer. Flying 8/8, drain life. When it enters the battlefield, as long as you cast it, which we shall, target opponent loses half their life and you gain it. Simian Spirit Guide. We talked about this earlier with Elvish Spirit Guide. It's just a great way to make mana at bracket 3, especially when you're trying to turbo out your commander. Sphinx of the Steelwind. Flying, Vigilance, First Strike, and Lifelink. I don't know who thinks this is bad on turn 3. I don't, it's fun. Tinderwall. Cause after all, Tinderwall is a great way to get Cody out on turn 2. But sometimes it's better to actually leave it back and then use it later. If you want to cast Cody, see if it gets hit by removal, and then activate Cody. Vilis, Broker of Blood. Flying 8/8. For 1 black and 2 life, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. But the caveat here is whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. And oh boy, does this pair well with Razaketh. Zerd of the Dawnwaker. This is another way in the deck to reduce the cost of Cody's activated abilities. Again, make sure to cast Zerda before you cast Cody. Sorceries. Conflux. Search your library for a card of every color, put them in your hand and shelf your library. Tutoring 5 cards is very fun. If you are unable to have fun tutoring 5 cards, I do not know what to tell you. Dark Petition. Dark Petition has spell mastery. That means as long as there are 2 or more instant or sorceries in your graveyard, this gets to add an extra 3 black after you cast it, turning this basically into Demonic Tutor after the fact. Gitaxian Probe. This is often how I like to activate after with Cody. I will tap Cody, making the Wooburg, pay 2 life to cast Gitaxian Probe, allowing me to go get and cast Profane Tutor. Overwhelming Forces. It's a massive board wipe that allows you to draw cards for every creature destroyed. This is often what I tutor for after Cody's been destroyed before, and the board's probably progressed and it's normally like turn 5 or 6. I'll end up drawing like 12 cards. It's fantastic. Personal Tutor. Often I'll use Personal Tutor earlier when I have nothing to do on turn 1 because I'm just playing a land, and I'll go get Gitaxian Probe. That way I have it for later once I've activated Cody. Profane Tutor. We've talked about this card a lot, but again, you can always still suspend it if you want to later. Rite of Flame. Wonderful way to get Cody out on turn 2. Strike It Rich. This is effectively a ramp card because often we play it on turn 1, get Cody out turn 2. Instance. Acrobatic Leap. Very often, someone will do something to send 4 to 5 damage over at my Cody to destroy it, and Acrobatic Leap will allow me to save Cody, and or later, if I would like to activate Cody again, I can untap it using this ability, or using this card, you get it. Alchemist Retrieval. It's a wonderful way to get things off the battlefield that you don't want, especially things that say you can't activate your commander, or save Cody from going to the command zone, because it's better in your hand than in the command zone. Arachnoid Adaptation. Again, a way to save Cody and untap him. Burnt Offering, a great way to make mana, especially if you get down an early creature and you want it to be able to activate Cody, and or a way to sacrifice Cody once you want to start casting permanent spells, which we do need ways to sack Cody. Cabal Ritual. We do a lot of sacrificing in this deck, we often fetch a lot. Normally we can get to the threshold of 7 cards in our graveyard, allowing us to make 5 black mana for only 2. Cerulean Wisps. It untaps Cody and draws us a card, all for 1 mana, which, like you guessed, can go get us Profane Tutor once we've activated Cody. That means we have an untapped Cody and we've Profane Tutored. Nasty. Chain of Vapor. Another way after a Cody to activate and go get Profane Tutor. But Chain of Vapor does a lot for us because we can also use it to bounce mana rocks back to our hand that we want to replay, such as Mana Vault. Culling the Weak. A great way to sacrifice Cody and get lots of black mana, as well as a way to go find Profane Tutor if we really need it. Dark Ritual. Who doesn't love Dark Ritual? Do I need to explain this one? Dream's Grip. Another 1 mana spell like we've been talking about. You know what that does for us, and it untaps Cody. Emerald Charm. The same thing but more flexible. Galvanic Iteration. Now this one I love. What I did earlier was on the turn with Cody, I played Personal Tutor. I Personal Tutored for a Profane Tutor. I then tapped Cody and I cast Galvanic Iteration. That led me to find Profane Tutor, cast it for free, and I got 2 tutors. Love Galvanic. Plus, it has a flashback. Gift of the Viper, a way to untap Cody and save it. Gut Shot, another free spell that allows us to go get Profane Tutor without having to spend the mana. Increasing Vengeance. Often I'll use this with Profane Tutor on the stack, that way I can get 2. Leaping Ambush. Again, for redundancy, we really want to be able to untap Cody and save Cody from damage. Super helpful. Long-term plans. Often I'll use this to put Profane Tutor near the top when I want to do some fancy stuff. Also, we're in bracket 3, so we don't have access to too many tutors, especially when we don't want to be too aggressive with them, so this is really helpful. Mutagenic Growth, another free 1 mana spell, and it can save Cody. Noxious Revival. Noxious Revival has a lot of uses, especially for the fact that if we want to reactivate Cody constantly, we can use it to put things on top of our library, as well as use it to activate after with Cody to go get Profane Tutor. Fantastic card. Insanely flexible. Path to Exile. Come on, let's play a little bit responsible. Let's make sure we can still deal with other people's cards. Sacrifice. A way to sacrifice Cody and a way to get a lot of black mana after we've done the Hoarding Broodlord line. Shore Up untaps Cody, +1/+1s Cody, and gets hexproof until end of turn. Man, Magic is really power crept. That's insane for 1 blue. Snap. Hey, let's be responsible and save mana. Why not? Snap Back. Let's be responsible and save some mana. Deja Vu. Swords to Plowshares. I want you to kill your friend's commander. Twiddle. Untap Cody, baby. Waterlogged Teachings. Who doesn't love a land and a tutor? But not a land tutor. A land and a tutor. Artifacts. There is nothing to see here. It is a ton of 2-mana artifacts and even faster ones. That's the whole point. We talked about it in Keeping Your Hands. Are we still gonna keep going on about enchantments? Carpet of Flowers. This allows us to make extra mana early on, especially if your friends are dirty blue players. Mystic Remora, a wonderful card to draw so many cards throughout the late game once your friends start to get going. And Training Grounds, a way to lower Cody's activation costs. And now, regrettably, I will let you know about the war crime that is cedh Cody. Now, earlier in this video, I spoke to you about the fact that this was a one-trick pony that instantly got beat out of the meta. Guess what? No one remembers this deck anymore, so now you can go to your locals and do this for a month until people catch on. I'm not kidding, that is probably what will happen, but seriously, go do it once. It's an adrenaline rush. It's like heroin if other people could make you to stop doing it. That's as close as I can get to an analogy. So, what do? You play Cody on turn 1. Literally every game, it's cedh, you're gonna find the mana. Cody comes out on turn 1, you activate Cody on turn 2, Cody gets Profane Tutor and casts it.
DefCat, this is sounding familiar.
Yeah, here comes the evil part. Instantly go cast Bring to Light. What's that do? It immediately casts Ad Nauseam. Yep, turn 2 Ad Naus in the command zone every single game, as long as you can count to 4. It's that simple. And then from there, you cast Ad Naus. Some of you, okay, sorry, let me explain this. So what Ad Nauseam does, it allows you to flip and reveal a card off the top of your library. Then, due to the fact that cedh plays such low mana curve cards, I literally mean that the average mana of a card in this deck is 1.2. You're gonna draw like about 40-50 cards, and it's all gonna be free mana, tutors, and ways to instantly win the game, such as Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, or Underworld Breach and Brain Freeze. Oh, I can explain that too. So for those of you who do not know, the way to win with Thassa's Oracle, once cast and it enters the battlefield, it will trigger. You will hold priority, meaning you do not pass yet to your friend in order to let them react, and you will stack on top of that ability the spell Demonic Consultation. You will name a card that is not in your deck. Demonic Consultation will then force you to exile cards off the top of your library until you find the card, but since it's not in your deck, you will exile your entire deck. And with no cards left in your library, the Thassa's Oracle trigger says, since it's less than your devotion to blue, you win the game. And the safe part about it is, if anyone actually counterspells your Demonic Consultation, then you just get a fancy scry. Now, Underworld Breach and Brain Freeze, let's talk about that. Underworld Breach says that you can escape cards from your graveyard by paying their escape cost, which is equal to their mana cost, and exiling 3 cards. You pair this with Lion's Eye Diamond, which says sacrifice, discard your hand, make 3 mana of any color, and you're going to be able to infinitely cast Brain Freeze from your graveyard, because Brain Freeze will continue to mill your library into your graveyard, and once you cast it an insane amount of times, storm count will be like 50 billion, and you can target your opponent's libraries. They will have no cards, you will be able to pass the turn, and they will lose on their upkeep due to drawing from an empty library. GG. This video was brought to you by a patron. We are so thankful for this amazing community that we have. Come join us on the Discord, come hang out, come have fun. Join us on streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's a blast. Oh, hey, you made it to the end of the video. Let me share some stuff with you. As of the day I'm recording this, I just hit 20,000 subscribers. This also means I am now a full-time YouTuber. That is incredible to me. But what's more incredible to me is the love of God. And I don't know if you've heard it. I know a lot of you have probably met a Christian before, and you've probably heard a lot of hurtful language, hate, and bigotry. And I know a lot of stuff has gone on recently. So I just wanted to promise to you, as a community leader and as just another guy that plays Magic, the #1 thing in my life is my faith, and I want to share the love of God with you. You will not be pushed away. There will be no bigotry, and I want you to know you're safe. If you have never experienced the unconditional love of Christ in your life, I encourage you to explore it and come ask me questions on the Discord. Because Corinthians 13:4 says, love is patient, love is kind. It is not envy, it does not boast in wrongdoings. It's not dishonoring. It's not self-seeking, and it's not resentful. It rejoices in truth, and it bears all things. I hope you have a blessed day, and I can't wait to see you in the Discord. Thank you for watching.